What up? Whoa.
And he bring the smoke.
What?
Hey, okay.
So he started anyway.
What up? It's a nice little, the episode little stuck today, boy. The episode little stuck today, boy. We in Space nightclub, spas, stuff, all of us pronounce it. On the avenue, let us go and see how we doing it now, boy. The production is very serious today.
Yeah.
Right? Great media
Chico.
solutions on the inside. Right? If all the photography, videography, hosting. Great media solutions.
Full
For
works.
the link in the description, I don't know. Alright, yeah. Male views. It's been a while.
Why?
Just bacchannal again, bacchannal.
And the lovely bacchannal.
I said, well,
The lovely bacchannal.
I said, let me get a little serious now. At least, you know, bring
Every now
some
and
men
then.
could hold our meds.
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah. We need less sense
Talk to the
prevail.
fellas, yeah.
They say
Less
cleanse
sense
the palate.
prevail.
Let's prevail is crazy, but I like it. As all your hosts, start up, you can follow me, follow Dappa _talks, like, comment, share, subscribe. But I don't know, post on the inside,
1-6.
right? I feel men would introduce themselves because it's real.
Personalities.
Yeah, boy. Personalities, accomplishments.
Yeah, for sure.
Things moving forward. Yeah, all they do only one thing now, boy. Whoever, you know.
It's not so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know what
Alright, so the name is Keegs, event host, soca parang artist, and well, after this episode here,
Right.
I will be a soca artist. Sure. I like that one. Conceptualizing, just a trying man, you know. Just a trying man.
Amen.
Yeah.
Love the humility.
Try and go in one.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, you have to try. Once you try and something happen.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yes, I. Ragamuffin Kute. Yes, I country boy. Yes, I country boy.
Real humble fellas on the
What's that? The
side.
humility.
That's
Wow.
not, if I do my introduction, you're not be going on boom. I like that. I know, let's see things on the table. I'm wondering, what really going on here?
And sponsors, man.
We're
Yeah.
proud to introduce the Dappa Talks family is now a part of Skins Condoms.
Up.
Thank you for the
Yes, I.
yeah.
Progress.
Right? So, everything skin is the ultra thin condoms, so you feel everything.
Except the risk.
Right?
Risk.
Never go in without a skin on there. Right? Condoms, they have lube, flavored lubes, they have performance rings. Anyways, they can do all their own research, skins.tt, find them, or they can purchase them in any local stores. Go out and protect yourselves now, man. Please,
Most importantly, secure the bag.
please,
Steam.
please.
Whoa.
Right? So, we start on this. We are no shots yet. Sometime during,
I was here.
for the culture now.
Yeah.
Sometime during for the culture, we will take the shot o'clock, not now. But we will still, the usual, more life, more love,
More everything.
more everything.
Yes, I.
Right? This is you, this is raw. So let me see, is the first question. Like, how do you feel in a relationship? I want to say married. Let me go straight to being married. I feel like if and when you do get married, you have one married person on the partner already, that's already, right? You could ever have a point where you could ever have a point
Make
where
sure she not have it on.
yeah.
Always on it. Did that.
Hey, well, if you look at ever have a point where I would the married man answer last.
Yeah.
Where you would find yourself sleeping on the couch. And it's because she put you there.
Oh, it's not voluntary?
Nah, you ain't just...
Involuntary.
You ain't just vex about your bed and choose the couch. She let you know.
I'm confused, but...
Nah.
You mean?
Out of respect, yeah. I mean, like if, well, yeah, not agreeing or something, and she say, well, you know, ting, this out of respect.
I ain't wearing this bed tonight.
Yeah, out of respect, yeah.
Why do so?
I confused.
That's what I want to know. Why do?
No, but I don't
well,
that
true,
can make
that
it
too.
rich to that.
Wait, brother.
You know that I know, but I say no,
Bottom
like
line
in the
is we do
scenario now, I thinking like how drastic it had to be that she had to reach to that extent where she say,
Go on the couch.
go on the couch.
Remember,
Like I don't want in our
Bed,
bed,
we
yeah.
bed.
matrimonial
Not tonight,
bed.
he ain't sleeping. He ain't sleeping yet tonight.
Yeah.
She better to the pillow.
No,
Can I understand that?
I understand what you say. Out of
It's out of
respect.
respect. As a man, respect people wishes and stance. Like, if
Right,
Sure,
right,
it's supposed
right.
to be.
Agreed.
That's
Is the
supposed to
case?
run, but
Agreed.
I respect that now, you know what I mean?
Your bed, dog.
nah, you don't understand what you say because
It's
remember, at the
yes,
same
yeah,
time,
but you
yes,
see, we just say that your bed. Nah, it's our bed.
Right.
You understand? And for me, it's about giving and taking at the end of the day too. Now. So if your wish, if based off of something I do,
you might just.
you know,
But seriously,
oh, yeah, you gotta respect.
And see you next Sunday, your style.
Hopefully, my brother,
Ah, yeah.
Father Lord. Let as my cousin let's say, let love prevail.
Amen.
Come
That was
on,
lovely.
come
now,
on.
I find it shouldn't have nothing that we can, you know, talk about or try and reach our middle grounds with because, I mean, communication is a big part in a relationship. You have to, how to put it, boy? Listen to understand, not listen to quarrel, not listen to, you know, how to, I try to get the words, not listen to compete, you know, I kind of way,
Right.
don't point in my
Right.
understand, you know, I kind of way,
Get together, yeah.
try and come to a middle ground, you know,
Collaborate.
going and accountability, hold yourself accountable, so you don't have to reach the one sleeping in a room and the next one, hey, don't start him bad if you ask me now, boy.
But sometimes you just need time. I just being devil's advocate. I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I just saying.
Space, she
sometimes
want
you need
that
space.
space.
Yeah, you need
Bro,
space.
it have no problem with wanting space.
You know,
sir.
I understand that space thing, but by me, I feel like if you want space, go by your mother. Don't put me on that boy. Don't put me on the couch. I feel like, no,
You know, Jonathan, for your mother, I want to see your daughter who is married coming home to sleep by
That
she.
mad thing.
Right, but
That's crazy.
I don't
he
feel like
talking about a day-to-day running situation. He checking in dog that have a event.
Right,
Something
yeah.
happened.
Right,
Look
yeah.
at that.
Oh,
No,
so,
like-
right.
Unless
Yeah,
let's say you
that's
see
a
something
different
physically,
situation.
but something could happen
Correct.
out of the ordinary, right? So I can tell you on my day-to-day, my wife and I not going through that,
Right, yeah.
right? If it's a day-to-day, see now you feel you get vexed and you don't want to sleep next to me, well, the couch out there,
For you.
I sleep in. 'Cause-
In your bed.
Come on.
In our bed.
I don't see no reason for anything.
Right,
that we
yeah,
can
yeah,
do.
Drastic, right?
But that's totally different than, again, just like the man say, devil's advocate. You in a situation as a man, and you lash your wife, and she tell you, well, yo,
Nah, never.
Nah,
Just-
you,
Yes,
I'm not
brother.
comfortable with you in my space.
Oh, no, for
Right, yeah.
You can't say, well, oh, it's my bed.
My bed too,
Nah,
yeah. Agreed.
yeah.
It's
Alright,
not, it's not
fair
even
point.
just
That
the couch alone
situation
for you,
they
there.
know.
Take one.
Outside.
Yeah.
But
It's not even
if
just
she
the
tell you, the couch, you can kick up and say, well,
My bed.
how you gonna tell me I had to go on the couch?
But you're crazy, but alright. I just
You gotta
think,
go.
if it's a man that lash you once,
You say
and she
that.
say that,
I know
man
what
lash
they
you
say.
again.
I know what they say.
So better you
In that
go by
scenario
your
like
mother.
that, she only open up, she want to talk about couch there. If it's that scenario, she might.
Nah, boy, that.
But I understand, that's a real good
That's
and
a
guys,
situation,
yeah,
yeah.
you have to
No.
actually,
So it have something that happened, same thing.
you had to
get
see the
catch
L.
her wrong, stand up.
You had to see the L.
She now catch you outside there with her next woman.
Right.
Dog, adore you in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
space.
you had to see
Yeah,
the L.
you had on,
You
yeah,
had to
so
see the L,
that
you had to see
applies
the
to
L.
that.
You have to
No,
do that.
under the
Yeah.
basis of the question, under the basis of the question, is I don't want to say it's genuinely those type of scenarios, but it is a scenario in which it's not, as he say, an everyday thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
an event that
Something
happened to
happened.
the point where
That's what I get.
Yeah, because it can't be,
Nah,
it can't be a everyday thing. Automatically, you know
Yeah,
couch normal.
if you know you're responsible for what it is.
Yeah.
For me, so long as I don't mind the couch or a separate room.
Room, yeah.
So long as we in the same house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understand?
You can,
Okay.
but from that perspective, you have to
plenty
respect
discuss.
that.
That
About
plenty
funny
discuss.
things.
It's
Yeah,
one
same
house.
house,
I just saying.
No, but I have a funny thing to add to that. What if you have the extra rooms, but she tell you no? Couch.
I don't understand. Okay.
Dappa, what you saying, boy?
Yeah,
What you saying? You should have somebody little child out.
The advantage of it, the advantage of it.
I understand. Okay.
She wanted to feel like, no, she don't want you comfortable. She
I
don't
stand
want,
man, I
she
stand
don't want you
mouse.
comfortable.
No, but it had to be that.
I already respect it.
Yeah,
So
but-
you're going to sleep in the car then?
About 9 out of 10 men will just not be there for the night then.
Naturally.
I know you'll have to wonder where this whole night.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Nah, you
So,
go see me.
I am one of those guys.
You
You go
there?
see, you go
Yeah.
see.
I am telling you, I'm one
yeah,
of those
yeah,
guys.
putting me on the couch when you just want your space.
Yeah.
Alright, fair.
And I not in your space and I know about that in here. But you say, what you doing in this bedroom here?
Go on the
Yeah.
couch.
In our house?
Yeah.
She want you uncomfortable.
And you're hoping it's our house and not my house.
Yeah, but
And
think
you
about
want
it
the
from this
family out
perspective,
on the
right?
couch, boy?
If you do so and you pick up yourself and you're gone, you feel like just make it worse because now you're going to leave you to wonder, yo, they run a racket.
Racket.
That, it don't make it worse from down, girl.
You understand?
But
So,
she putting you on that couch there, that definitely making that relationship dynamic worse. I
It
guarantee you.
depends.
It-
It
yeah,
depends.
I
want
think
to
it depends where-
You see that put you on the couch, that change up your whole
No, but so
relationship
long.
dynamics.
So what if it's a situation where, you know, she just feel like tonight, I just want to be in the morning. We go, you know, let tomorrow come and we can
As
deal
a
with that
wife,
tomorrow.
What are you talking about?
No, he
there?
knows from the perspective of
it-
Have
having
a
a different.
different place to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh,
But she
from
telling
the
you,
other
nah,
side,
don't lie down on no bed. You
Go
had
on
to
the
go on the
couch, yeah.
couch.
now like pills.
That totally different.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
that was literal devil's advocate.
That's
That was literal
totally
devil's
different.
advocate.
That's too much of
Yeah, that was I said. If it is you, if you are loving,
I take
and
over
now
the
they put you on the
Too much
couch,
in
Yeah,
that.
too much,
Like too much in that.
that changing up your whole relationship
Yeah.
dynamic.
Yeah.
Your little boy,
I want to say
no.
like a mouse.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Try my best here, but
So, where's men thoughts about the concept of you're single before marriage, and you know that bachelor night is for your last little hoorah?
Really.
I honestly find that very shit, to be honest. I just see it.
Wait, wait.
Because I don't feel like I have no
from
bachelor
a
party, to be
female
honest.
perspective or from
I've
like
an bachelor, then I will go.
No, you as
Both men
a,
and
you as-
women.
Steve,
Yeah, I cool.
Not for most times when that question is asked is no much so the woman.
Bro, what?
True.
What do you mean?
Women just fuck it up too, you know. Don't feel like the bachelor at night just be them going and them going to
I feel like
but you get that. You're like, bro, what?
you go from a couple bachelors when you see that.
You're like,
Yeah.
No, I don't know. When I say it, I didn't mean. I just mean
General?
majority than minority. Yeah, correct. Yes, we know. Although we know women deceitful. A vast majority.
Yeah,
but
we just see them. I want to put the disclaimer there, right? The
Boy,
views
boy.
expressed right
yeah. Walk over Bible.
A
Yeah,
vast
he
majority.
say what he has to say.
I can say it is.
I
Usual I just usually say.
you don't know.
I think it is real. So they might think when people see things like that, right? I feel like it's just a brush that we just paint, and to be honest, it's really based on the personalities where people were. Cause that's some man out there too, bro. Like, and I ain't even talking like man and woman thing. I'm just talking about like people now. Like it
On the
have
whole,
women who deceitful and men who deceitful.
No say
too,
no,
bro.
no facts.
Yeah, so
you man, boy. You
Yeah.
have to learn them. You
when
man,
the Rasta
well,
man say you see string beans,
fire.
you see human beings.
Fire. But
But to
yeah,
answer the question, me personally, as in, cannot like you're single right before you get married now, boy.
I'm mad
Because it's a
single.
progression.
It's a progression. Yeah.
Marriage is
I-
our next
I-
step
I
from
find
you
that.
being in a committed relationship.
Unless it's
Right.
one of them arranged marriages and
Yeah, just to get people out of fire. But
So in that
well,
moment,
even if
if
you
I
get
right,
people, it's still single.
well, yeah, that,
you're asking, so if it's arranged marriage,
But
feel
if,
like you could take that
if it's
decision?
an arranged marriage, I don't feel
then
like
it's
I
not
don't
really
bachelor
marriage.
party,
It's
I
like,
think
yeah,
that.
I be honest with you, bro.
that's like a legal,
party
that's
night.
like a legal contract.
Yeah,
and I
that-
tell you,
Yeah,
As a
the-
man, bro, if I, and this probably might be real weird in this generation, but as a man, bro, if I locking in with a girl, dog, it have no dipping and
no, I don't know why I say
thing.
weird that no.
Bro,
I don't wear it,
bro,
bro.
that is real. That was
I
supposed
be
to
honest with
be.
you, and we living in a generation, in a time where
they will find
I
out.
had to tell some youth many the other day, I was like, you know, bro, that whole 5 and 3 girls, like, they start juggling, bro. That's
Right, but if it is you
crazy,
going,
bro.
if you going and get married,
I
that
mean,
juggling, yeah, you can't be on that scene.
Yeah, but then you're not ready for marriage.
But
Exactly.
there's a lot of men who, them locked in,
Right.
and them in a committed relationship, them not cheating on nothing. Them going and get married, and hey, bachelor party
Bachelor
night
night,
here,
right,
no,
yeah.
anything could happen. No.
No, that's the
Anything
question.
could happen with them, no. And them,
real fellas
them
who
not
believe
seeing no problem with that, and them not counting anything that happened on that
that
night
night.
as anything
Correct.
that happened.
That is the question, sir.
I have a question for them, right? I have a serious question.
I said,
That's-
power I get frightened.
Just use their brain and thing, right?
Literally.
Like, who was the cheater or the person being cheated on? Because I'll tell you why I asked that question, right? I feel like
Come, we'll
we
talk
have
about
a
this.
way of, in this world, where we like to clown the person being cheated on, and I feel like it's really the cheater.
You see,
Is the
John,
clown.
It's the clown because you're somebody who locking in with you now, boy.
so you losing.
yeah,
No,
You basically
no,
losing.
but just now.
you're
no.
losing somebody
Fool.
who.
What I would say on that though is we literally filmed last night, and our perspective was most of the times in those scenarios, not don't say most of the times, it have scenarios where that person who chooses to cheat is because for lack
They're
of
not, they're not getting,
Confidence.
they're not, they're
no,
not getting what
from the partner.
from the part, what they need or what
No,
they
I
require.
don't
So
agree.
you can't open it
Wow.
with that talk.
I'm glad you opened that one. I'm glad you opened
Right.
that one, right?
And
So
that
my
is
thing is,
what people do.
if you
People
are
don't
in
talk.
if you in a relationship and thing or whatever is the case, right? And you know you not getting what you want out of it, and you just say, well, yo, I'm not getting what I want, and if I can't get what I want,
Press.
we keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Which has happened to me, and you know, thing and
That-
no scene.
Yeah.
That
you
easier
know what I mean?
said than
Yeah.
done for a lot of couples. But
Oh.
same thing you say. You have to talk. You have to talk.
Communication and accountability.
But
But
it
people,
have-
let's say communication, until they don't like what being communicated. Eh?
Exactly. Exactly.
You understand? Because
Or
you
like
might say
part-time.
communicate, and then
Like
if I tell
part-time.
you, well, and even though, and sometimes too, silence is going to be the greatest communication. Eh? You might say something, and I say nothing. That's some of the greatest because I just not making sense to me.
Nah, you better say to me that
but,
not making
but,
sense.
but that's
to you.
dangerous. Like that.
No, no, no. What I mean
I-
what I mean is this, right? I mean, in the instance of, let me say you saying something and I tell you one thing and you expect me to say again and again and again. Sometimes silence is great because I say it already.
I learn you know, I learn you know from my personal experience.
Well,
Brother,
at
say it
least-
again. If you had to say it again, even if you had to say, I already answered that.
Correct.
That's
See,
it.
that's-
Hold on. So
I
watch this. If
honestly
you,
feel like that is
if
it.
you lash me, right? Or if you hit me in my face and I tell you, bro, I do like that. Don't do that again. You want to do it again?
yeah, I crack it. I crack it.
I wouldn't crack you again. I wouldn't crack you again. But if
why,
I
why you
do,
wouldn't crack? Why you wouldn't lash me again?
because
Yeah.
you communicate that to me. You say you don't like it.
right.
Right? But if I
Make it-
crack you in your
and you stay
face,
silent.
and I do
watch
so,
this. No, but watch this, right?
I might feel like maybe I don't like it. I ain't too sure.
But
you might-
if you're with
coming
somebody
around to it,
in a
yeah.
relationship, right? That mean you love, that mean you respect, that mean you care for somebody, right? And you're doing something that somebody do like. And I tell you, I communicate, I don't like it. You do it. You know what I mean?
And
You know?
I in a very committed relationship.
Part of
and I
the thing,
communicate more
Palo,
than once.
is
Okay, fair point,
understanding
fair point.
the person you're dealing with, though. And that what plenty of people don't take the time to do for it. You understand? So in terms of like the what the question with the bachelor party or whatever, no, if you know you're somebody, if you know to yourself you're not that kind of person, right? What you encouraging it for? If you know to yourself that you're not accustomed to a certain kind of energy or vibes, what you try to bring the risk of something while like that taking place in a night now, boy.
Yeah. My bachelor party was me and my cousins come together and just lie and eat pizza and KFC. And
Something
all
that
that.
you're accustomed
That's
that,
all right.
Yeah.
no, you can't say
No,
that
but
because
that was my bachelor party.
That's your part.
that
That is
is
my
your
bachelor party.
bachelor
And
party.
that's
That's
my
you,
bachelor
that's
party.
you.
So you can tell a
Exactly.
man who get married under your house, that in our wedding.
Yeah.
That family
Is
got
our wedding?
That
Is
your
our
wedding.
wedding?
to say that.
So I am my bachelor party.
And
I
then-
am my bachelor
If they sign
party.
if they sign papers at the house, then it's not married.
No,
Right.
if you know,
But I'm my bachelor party,
Yeah,
and that's because I not
on
a
that.
custom in that scene now, boy. Now I see plenty men. I go on bachelor party already, and I could tell that, yo, this man here,
Yeah.
he don't know how to function
So,
in this
yeah.
zone right
Yeah.
now. He
Yeah.
out of place, he
chip friend, SIM card,
yeah,
but you crash.
he don't know what to do though. Right? So that's the same thing, it's just peer pressure. Friends bring you out, but say, boy, I train a party for you, but we had to go.
I think when people don't understand what marriage is to it.
That's-
Not saying I
that
don't
is it,
understand. I
that
still
is
really
it, bro.
understand it, to be honest.
Yeah, but you think
I'll
is
be
you're not
honest.
supposed to understand what marriage is for other people. You're supposed to understand
For
what
your-
your marriage
you
is.
understand.
Not for me, I just saying for
But bro, you had to be with somebody to understand it first. So because as
I
Oli was
disagree.
saying, huh?
I disagree with
You
that.
understand marriage as a single individual, you understand
As a
marriage.
concept.
The
Yeah,
concept.
the concept of it is
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it is like that. I'm
Especially-
talking about
No, but that's what
If
I
they come
mean.
from a
living
two-parent house,
together,
so
yeah,
you can
yeah,
mimic.
yeah.
You didn't know say that earlier. Both of you said earlier is a progressive thing.
Yeah,
now, but
progressive.
you understand? But
No, the what is progressive is the relationship of
Yeah.
a marriage.
And
But
then
the
the status-
concept of a marriage, like, so let me see your thing, like young girls growing up, they just have a concept of what marriage
Yeah, like a
is.
fairy tale.
Young
Yeah, a
boys
fairy
growing up,
tale.
they just have a concept.
we don't even have
Older
a
men
concept.
in the 70s, they have a concept
Of
of
what,
marriage.
yeah,
The same
yeah.
where I am at,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do really understand the concept of marriage. That's
It's
an
unfortunate.
honest thing. Nah, it's
Yeah.
not unfortunate. It's
Not
me
unfortunate.
being intellectually honest, bro.
They don't have
Yeah, he
a
honestly,
full
he's straightforward,
concept.
so he
But
will
is
not
it-
try to pretend that
Is it,
marriage
but
is.
is it that you see
Yeah.
it from a perspective of that is not something right now you could see yourself buying into? Or you just
Now you
Again,
might-
I don't understand it.
Yeah, so you can't say buying into something that you don't
Don't
understand.
understand.
It come like,
what I mean?
yeah, I understand what you're saying.
He
Like,
married to the bag. He married.
No, boy, it's not
I
even
know.
that, you know. It's like,
I know,
alright,
to the
like,
back.
I'm trying to understand
I
it.
lost.
Alright.
Because I don't understand how you do have a concept how a marriage is.
or how it's supposed to,
No, you
or how
might,
it's
you
supposed
might
to
not
run.
all
Know
the
what I
details
mean?
and you might be
Of
wrong
how
on
it's
that. When you talk
Or how it's
about-
supposed to operate.
So
how
when you
it
ask
works.
somebody, right, like I ask people, like, you know, bro, like, you know,
Where's it
like
going?
you, right? I'm asking
Yeah.
that question, right? What make you get married?
I feel I had an example from when I was younger. So I was in a two-parent household,
Right.
and that was my biggest influence.
Right?
Right.
Bro, I grew up single parent household. So that was saying my concept of it, I ain't really
Would be a little stray because
Well,
of how
alright,
your
well,
the
alright.
I was saying I'm
environment.
being intellectually
Yeah.
honest.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
never had an example, you never had nothing to mimic, nothing to look forward to, to say,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
hey, I see this
But you
look
got
nice in my
because
house.
you got you
Well,
I
your
could work
family
towards
like
doing
that
the
too.
same.
Again, right?
Man,
You would
father.
see
You know what I mean?
things.
Not mother and father, but
But
grandparents.
for me,
and
it's hard.
everything.
I know it's about.
Yeah.
Where you see on the outside and then what you know, and that was it for me
Right,
to really
right.
grasp the concept. You have to know. So,
So
it's like
as-
how we grew up in a two-parent house.
But what the concept of love?
Yeah, the concept
So
of love.
because how you
Yeah,
do
but,
it
true.
and
but
you see it.
I feel like
But love
that
and marriage
marriage
is very
is
different.
I know, but
No,
it's
no, no.
not-
I'm not saying no,
Love
but
and
I'm saying
marriage.
as in this
Even-
situation, he didn't see marriage, but he see love.
Yeah.
So you
Even
understand the concept.
yeah.
of
Even the
love.
concept of love does somewhat differ where relationships is concerned.
True.
Because the love that you have for your mother, and the
No,
love
that
you
wasn't
have for
going
your
that deep. No,
partner.
I was just saying that he.
It's
it's
two
a
different
What he
love.
experienced and
yeah,
what he
but you think about
experienced.
romantic love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't understand where you're coming from.
You feel different?
No, yeah.
I don't understand where you're coming from.
I mean,
So it could be very different for you.
Yeah,
In terms of how you
understand.
conceptualize marriage, if you
Correct.
grew up like me in a two-parent house, and you had an example day by day,
Yeah.
that if it is that's something that you're observing, even further on the outside, it's not really that familiar to you. Know?
Yeah,
So like I said, that's something I always wanted.
Yeah.
So when I found the person I was ready to make that step with, I kind of already know what it's supposed to look like for me now.
Okay.
So you wake up,
Yeah.
so you know what it is to like wake up in the morning, see your mother and your father operate in a particular
Yeah,
way.
same.
Yeah. So, bro, I'm doing it.
Me neither, but
That is a blessing, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I see my
feel
uncles will, but I'm like-
I feel like we live in a space where men just kind of idolize the wrong thing.
Real.
Men are looking at that. you know.
Yeah, bro, you wouldn't believe. I was telling that man the other day. I said, bro, you looking at, you know, Drake and Travis Scott, and you're looking at them men on the gram, and you're saying, yeah, boy, it's my inspiration. I said, bro, look at that man right on the road there with the woman and the child and the family.
But they get
That's
that
the
photo,
greatest
every song is a
inspiration.
sacrifice.
Yeah, no,
Honestly.
But
That is the
that's where we
I have
had
a-
get we role models from my time. Yeah, we grew up and it had I grew up in the era it had 50 and murder ink and things, so we watching now we understand that entertainment.
Yeah, that is entertainment.
The
It's
youth
literally
now
just
know, boy, that
entertainment.
is not just entertainment for
It's
them. but
lifestyle.
Wow.
It's
Nah,
lifestyle.
it's lifestyle.
It's
That is
lifestyle.
Wow.
It have many youth you would literally see. So even when we used to mimic artists long ago, was in simplicity. Rapping,
Was a style
they might
and
wear a little
yeah.
outfit or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
These youths taking it to the extent of exactly what the CD
Yeah,
artists
that's-
doing.
They
The
go in
youth
and
is
do it.
who the exact
That is
same.
why when you say introduce, bro, I very honest, bro. Like, I am a trying man. Though. Like, I is a man trying to figure out life. just
Especially
like
with the
you.
eyes you have on you too, so you have
But not
to.
even that, you know. I don't study that, bro.
But
I-
just you as an individual
as
trying.
an individual, bro, I trying to figure out where, like, what it is now. Like,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like
Where you can be the
everybody
best
else.
you
bro.
inside it. Yeah.
Your place in this world.
Yeah, and it's not just about music. It's about like how family
be.
is supposed to
Yeah, how to
operate.
be,
how to be.
How
How
as
to
a
be.
man you're supposed to operate in
Yeah.
certain
The
things.
purpose
Like,
life.
I will live every day is like my like a son time too.
Yeah.
So like how do I operate and
And
impact-
guide,
impact,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
impact, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's
It
why
is,
I be watching. You know what I
It
mean?
is a continuous thing. That things I would tell you, I know for sure 3 years ago, and my whole perspective changed on that in just watching my daughter grow and do certain things
Yeah,
and
it did.
realize it now. It has certain things I had to unlearn, things that I taught when I have a child. I know this how it's supposed to be, and different things. It comes just like my mother. The difference between my mother dealing with my daughter and how my mother deals with
You.
me.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Worlds apart. you know. Worlds apart.
I get all the licks
I
know.
and then get all the love up.
No, I heard somebody say that how even when you get older, you just get to understand that even your parents didn't know no better.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
They
they
try
were
the best
just
that they
trying
know.
from
Yeah.
what they learned.
Them
Yeah,
have them
the best that
tools,
they know.
and them when you look back on what is them really had to work with in terms of just access to information.
Bro, I did
make what
something
they
with
do.
the children's
Internet,
authority
innit?
about that, you know, like understanding like what child abuse is and
Yeah.
how lack of information back in them days.
Could have lead to.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
big deal.
yeah, like it's
So
crazy.
back then, if you want to learn more about being a conscientious parent, you had to go and get a book, you know. So you had to want, like the first thing, you had to want to get that info.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you had to go and look for that info, get that info. You might go
Process
and
it.
ask a librarian, you have a book on how to raise your child and laugh at you like, so you
Yeah.
know how to raise your child.
Not even just that, even if you ask the parent go.
But you know, I feel like that should be in schools.
Who's that?
Yeah.
That plenty thing that
Like
should be in
parent,
schools.
like parent,
Parent thing, yeah.
like
Well,
in secondary,
secondary
school.
Secondary school, yeah,
yeah,
for
like
sure.
parenting.
No, but it
higher thing you
well,
gotta
they
put
just
in
claim sexual education. I don't know if it.
But
No,
I
no,
like
no,
parenting.
that-
That's
had-
still a covering.
It had certain
Yeah,
schools
it is.
had things like it, but not
Yeah,
much.
that big one.
Yeah.
That big
Maybe
one.
it should be a part of that.
Let
of
them
that
know
curriculum.
new skins.
No, but don't have, they really don't have no parenting template out there for anybody to look at. You know.
But we
Everybody
had
had to start to
in
figure it
Trinity,
out.
we had a class like that. We had
Sex
a-
ed?
Nah, not sex. It wasn't sex. It was guidance something, but I can't remember the name of it. And they used to have it once every fortnight.
I feel the biggest guide for me was like growing up and certain things happen, and I'm not saying no TV thing to say, wait, I was really abused or something like that. Nah. But it had little things that while I was growing up, I was wise enough to say, right, I have to remember this feeling now. Because I
yeah.
gonna make sure that my children don't have to go through
experiences.
this.
Yeah.
So
I
a lot
agree.
of my experiences based on things that I know, as small as it could have been, I didn't want it to happen to my
Repeat
children.
yourself.
Or me be the
Yeah.
person who doing that as simple as somebody come home frustrated from work.
And take it
I
out
think
on
it
them.
taught
or
on
something.
them. Yeah.
I
Gotta
don't
separate
do that
it.
at all. At all. Like I'm making sure I have my finger on that button, yo, decompress.
But it's, so
Child
hear me
learning.
out, right? I agree with you, but there's a question, right? Like you see, like how you have a certain strength in your personality and thing. How do you now try and impact that level of strength without taking away some of the hardships from them that you may have experienced? If you understand
You
what I mean?
mean and how my experiences would have groomed me to be the
Yeah,
person
like
I
how
am?
do you know-
How I now ensure that they have
Because I
that
feel
certain
like-
level of adversity.
By we kind
that.
of holding back.
It's spoiling
certain-
them.
Yeah,
Right,
but
so-
it's healthier.
Yeah.
But then, how do you know
When they go
how
out into the real world.
Yeah, when they go
How
out
you
into the real
generating
world,
them to be like more like you in the
Well,
sense
it's
of.
just
I
talking.
don't that. I'm not gonna say that.
You
You
have to
talk to them.
so
You have to.
it almost like discipline had two parts, and most of us grew up with just one part.
Yeah,
Hard part.
And that was just
The
If
hard
I don't
part.
talk, if I don't
We
talk
get
in
licks.
discipline,
Yeah.
Sometimes you know where you get licks for. That was just it, right?
I think
So-
Alex in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, all are we?
Yeah, bro.
I get licks
Everybody-
next time.
that was
Everybody
that
here
part.
I
got
tell you,
So-
some that they go see me and say,
Yes, I don't talk.
"Come."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that's
But
all.
I get licks in, but I didn't get licks like that. My
get
mother
licks
was
like
as a real good child.
Oh,
Me too.
nah.
I was not
But
bad
it
child.
just beat
I was
me.
not bad child.
I
Yeah.
get greatest.
I was about to.
I get really.
But so now you could, and it have ways to discipline children, right? Children live in a real comfortable life in terms of what they have access to, electronics,
Comfortable.
things. Yeah.
Spoiled.
bro.
So, a bucket. Ooh.
Yeah, though.
My daughter, yo, you get discipline, no device. By letting you know, here was the problem. I talked to you about this already. After I talked to you, you told me you understood what it is I told you.
See what I was saying before.
And then after that, now you come and you do this, so it have to have a consequence for your actions.
Yeah.
So basically, what going on there is that instead of just outright beating each other or, you know,
It's
making
getting
each
numb to
other feel
licks
some
after
kind
a
of, oh, you had to make sure while talking to them, they know it has some kind of sense of love there still now. But
Yeah. And it's education.
yeah,
You're
literally.
teaching them something. It's
My
not
mother
just-
would have beat me and tell me she loved me. I love you, that's what I tell you.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
saw, and I saw now, you know, she love
You
you.
know, I
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I say. It always has some kind of tactics sometimes. They get licks and then they call you for food after.
Yeah. No,
And
ice
that
cream
you-
and pizza
that
shop.
you-
That got awesome.
And
You tell
I
them,
think,
yes,
By me, after you get cut off,
them call me
That-
ice
something
cream and pizza
and make me
shop.
get sleepy and
That is a
wake me
lesson
back
in
up.
itself. Because bring it back to marriage, you could be vexed with your partner. If you are accustomed making our breakfast, if you are accustomed
Make
ironing
it.
our
But
clothes,
the love
You're
can't
supposed
leave,
to
even if
do
you're
it.
vexed,
The love
you are
can't
You're
leave.
supposed to do it because
Correct.
that, like you see, in a sense, I don't know, might be people might say no, yes, I don't really care. You, in a sense, that come like an obligation. That way, yeah.
sure, that's
That's what it is.
That way, you're accustomed
Yeah.
doing so. That shouldn't change the fact that your duty, you give up your
Yeah,
accustomed doing
yeah,
that. We ain't good right now, you understand? But
The
we
love
good at the
cannot
same
leave,
time.
the love
The
cannot
love
leave.
can't wave, man, boy.
That your choice you making. That is your choice you make to be with that person, to cater to that person.
Yeah.
So you.
and on the next side too, you can, if somebody are custom ironing our clothes for you, don't feel you vexed and you just looking to iron your own thing too, because
Just now, hold on.
you wake up in the morning, you make your own breakfast, quick and you force you vex.
Yeah.
You're pressing down the
She
plate.
go fight up. She go fight up when she get up.
Ain't putting no starch.
No, you handling your own scene. I don't need you, girl. That's just as bad.
Yeah.
That's just as
I
bad.
ignorant.
I never, that is a great
That's just as
perspective,
bad.
man.
ignorant.
Because if you make somebody get the impression that you don't need
And they
them,
would less, yeah.
you can't feel no how when they start to move like cool. You don't.
I agreed. Well, yeah, taking a little break, coming back. Yeah, the vibes nice, boy.
Vibes in.
Yeah,
Punching it.
yeah.
Lovely. Lovely. You shall leave Clafford man today, but you're on a roll. You're on a roll.
Well, yeah, we back. We did take the shot before, we taking the shot now, and it's customary shot o'clock.
Shut up, man.
Same thing as always, more life.
More love.
Yes, sir.
More everything.
Bo, bo,
This
bo,
is
bo.
real.
This
This
is
is raw.
Not bad at all.
I understand what I went on there.
Kill them rooms.
They're dead. For sure.
We kind of touch on this already, so we'll start off with it one time. Actually, you can answer. What does being in love mean to you?
What does it? So for me, it have two things for me. It have, you know what my vibration is. Meaning I don't have to, like it have people, like I don't have to tell my mother certain things now.
She'll pick up on it.
Yeah, for
Right.
me that is like love, where you have like that
Understand.
sense.
The aspect of love, yeah.
Not even understand, no, that sense of just
Knowing.
You can pick
like,
up
like
when,
for me,
when
right?
you
So
vibe
like,
off.
I know, like, with my sister, right? Like, people just look for the big things, but for me, it's the little things, right? So, like, with my sister, right? I know if my sister say, "Oh, you go and get some food for me," I know if I go and get chicken, is Cyprus. You understand? She gonna know I go more leg and tie. The little things now.
Pay attention.
For me, that's bigger than you saying, "Well, I love you, why would I?" You know what I mean? And then the second part of it is how we get past disagreeing as well too. It's how I think with love.
No, me, I didn't ask you about love. No.
Being in love.
I said being in love.
Yeah, so for me, that's what about being in love is about.
Nah.
For me to say if I in love with somebody,
But you
those
don't
are the
even tell the man,
You can tell the man
No,
when he asks
what
That's what I
I
mean.
said now. What I said now.
That's
Just
what
one
you
hold
mean.
on. What I said now.
You can say, no, there's
What
no,
I said
that's
now.
man version of love.
From what? The
But you're watching
scripture
it from
he
also
give?
you're watching from an angle of man and woman relationship.
No,
or
how-
general.
So then explain how can you be in love with your mother?
No,
How
what
can you
he-
be-
what he
Eh,
said-
the question was.
All right, no, but just not that
But
part.
yeah,
Don't do it, man.
Nah,
I
nah.
think I understand where you're coming
Yeah,
from.
he had explained himself a little bit.
Yeah, but what I
Because we
believe
understand,
what
but
he
he had
coming from.
explained
No,
Yeah.
I understand what he was explaining.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the question
But he had
asked, what
explained it a
does
little bit better.
being in love mean to you?
Right. So being in love, when people say in love, usually is a romantic connotation.
Right, but,
in
Right, and I
contrast
believe
to
what he was
love.
trying
General.
what he was trying to get to was saying this, right? That the things.
He was talking general.
No, and that's what I'm saying. But even if it's
Two-
general,
well,
that
two
is what
parts.
will make him fall in love with somebody.
Yeah.
When somebody pay attention
You
to
save
him.
him, you save him, they boss.
No,
I
that's
don't
what
know
he
what
said.
he
mean.
No, no.
That's what he
but
mean.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
take it
What's
as
what-
where he was going.
That was
That was it for me.
man.
It's two parts.
It's two
Right,
parts.
it's two parts.
For it to be in
One-
love with somebody
yeah,
or to
one
understand
is
somebody in
that,
love
and
with
then
you.
of course,
Is
yeah.
that brother already here tonight?
No, but that's why I listen to him
Start to say
talk.
two parts.
I've listened to him talk, right?
Nah,
And
nah,
the way he explain it is that these are the two things that will make him be in love with somebody, or he know that somebody's in love with him. The small thing,
For me,
and then
I
that's
feel
what
like
I
you
get
can't
from you
use.
talking.
If I talking from my example, like you say I'm a woman thing, I
Romantically,
feel like you can't use a romantic example. You have to use example of love from before that.
For you, right?
For
Okay,
me,
for you,
for me,
right?
I
For
listen,
you.
I listen.
For
Yeah.
me, because again, in a moment I could have say, well, I love my first ex, and then I realized, well, it wasn't really love.
Right.
Right, correct.
You understand? So I use examples of love that I sure
100% sure about.
Why?
Right, but what he getting at too is, you probably realize you didn't love your ex. But what make you fall in love with her in the first place?
I am full.
Again, those
The two
Yeah.
Same thing. Alright,
Those
alright.
And then what make you, so then,
characteristics.
alright, so if those two things make you fall in love, right? What make you fall out of love with you then?
then you start to use those little things to one up.
Oh, alright, so you try to take advantage.
It's a lot of conditions.
Oh,
Alright.
You ain't claiming them at all.
I don't know.
Right.
Nah, man, you can't do that.
No, but alright, from you're on saving, yeah? I understand.
Yeah.
No, nah.
I swear.
No, but
Hey, you next.
Yeah.
me,
You done say already, I know it.
no, but big to big, nah, yeah, right? Respect all the time. But what I'm saying is, right? Basically, me personally, what is make me fall in love with somebody is basically what I just saying. Like
No,
being
brother.
able. No, wait.
I'm not saying for nobody again. I'm not saying for nobody again.
not even here, we gotta say it.
I take off my tape.
Me don't say but I bad anyway. Yeah, so why I say this? Like being able to understand your person. You understand? Taking the time to understand my likes, dislikes. Taking the time to understand how I communicate or you communicate. You love language. Just being how to put it by
Present.
present and observant. Same way,
Attentive, you
Thoughtful.
attentive, yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
Thought, like,
Present don't mean a next day or two, eh?
No, and I was saying too, when you say present, the first thing comes to my mind was thoughtful now, boy. Because how people with being thoughtful is make them present now, boy. You
Yeah,
understand? So
you
like
should- I be
if
showing up in a big-
And also, how was your day? Don't mean thoughtful.
no, and that's what I'm saying. So you come like this, right? If you say you have your girl, she know you're on the road thing right? She knows sometimes you might be lost in a day, and she say, right, let me hire a food drop, to meet him wherever he is and get food to him so he can make sure and eat.
Smile
Right?
big, yeah, smile
That
big
is
for
a
your
case
son,
of
yeah.
she being present by being thoughtful now. You understand?
Yeah.
And
I
guys,
like that rule a little bit.
I cook food. Bro.
Yeah, I like that. I like that rule a little
like
bit.
that example, I cook
I
food
actually
like
live in
that.
that way.
You don't live in that?
But
No,
a nice rule a little bit.
I don't live in it.
But nah.
I cook
Yo,
I
I
cook
was
It come like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she cook
So-
for you and you get, she come and she drop it down work or even when
But
they
yeah, them things nice. So everybody will
Yeah.
like somebody.
But you
who
was
caters
this
to
girl
them.
too, so
Yeah.
your wife don't cook for you?
Yeah, no, but I get it. I
For
get
me,
it.
for me, the biggest thing for me, bro, like if you have a problem, like I could fix your problem.
Right, okay.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
That for me is the greatest form of how I just express my love.
So it's a service, basically.
Again, when I
Right.
use the word love, bro, I think like people have this thing like, I feel like love for me, you can't separate love like my mother or it's just the way I would express it differently for my mother and I would express it differently for your significant other. But for me, it's the same love for me now, boy.
It's different for me.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's different for me.
I
So
tell
like
you.
No, I know
Let
that's
me
what
get
you
one.
Concept of love different.
everybody likes to be catered to.
Yeah.
And we all have our own pictures in our head of different characteristics that we want from our partner. So same way, I know I was always going to get married to somebody who could cook,
Right.
right? Because I can't cook and I have no desire to learn to cook really now, but right? So it always had little things that I
get
looking
that food
for
drop, boy?
characteristics.
You get that whole pack?
I looking for characteristics now, boy. So yes, the same thoughtful and attentive and all of these
Yeah.
things. So everybody, what them things? Same characteristics I would have seen my wife coming up, right? Same thing, thoughtful. She making sure well. Yeah, no lunch, there no food drop, but she know she cook home. She will bring her extra lunch, something.
That's
Right?
a food drop.
But
That is still food drop.
Yeah.
for me,
That is the food.
That is the food drop.
I feel like that applies to everybody. Everybody wants to be treated well now. But
Yeah.
it's not natural for a man to go
No, even
in.
all
Yeah,
over.
no,
It's
you
not
saying
natural.
that, bro. But
But not natural for somebody to go into a space wanting to be treated badly now. But
Yeah,
it's just that some
yeah,
people don't really
accept it.
identify what is the things that they want now.
That is it.
But for me, and it come back to how you say you is express love. What does make me fall in love the most is my partner's ability to be satisfied by me now and be happy with what it is I could bring to the table now. Because I can't be there on a daily basis feeling like if
love.
I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
Love.
There's a frustrating space for me
Yeah.
now. So when I with somebody, and I meet somebody, and we getting to know each other, yeah, I check in to see how you treating me in certain spaces, but I also looking to see how
you appreciate
you
what I do.
reacting to how I catering to you because
Right,
I
yeah.
giving you what I could give you.
Yeah.
So when it have some relationships that never turn into relationships, some dating scenarios, and I realize, you know what, I'm a girl, I do what it takes
To please you.
to give you what it is you need now. You want more than me.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, you want more than I could get. And it's not that
accountability.
You don't know any self.
it's not that I can't get it today, you know. I just know I can't get it today, tomorrow, the day after
forever.
that.
Forever, that's a long
Yeah.
time.
And
So
how much
better-
how often you want it?
Exactly. So it's better we hear what
Ruby Tuesday
you find
every
somebody
weekend.
who willing to give you
No.
what it is you
Specific
looking
way.
for now.
Yeah, that
No,
real
but it's
specific.
more- no, it's more-
That
it's more than
real
Yeah,
specific.
Yeah.
It's more than just
Yeah, you
that.
will actually call her ass.
No way, every Tuesday.
By
Now I
name.
tell you to watch him out.
It's more than just that, right? It might have, and it might even be that they do appreciate what you do, but
They don't.
no, they appreciate it, but the way they move is like if they owe that now.
It come across as though it's an obligation.
Yeah, like
You know, just I
You
was saying
had to do that
I
for
am
me.
not your
Entitled.
father.
yeah, you had to do that for me now. Boy. So
I
for
am
me,
not your father.
that is a big part of me, especially with my wife, being able to realize that, yo, this is the one, boy.
Yeah, he doing what he could do for me, and I love every aspect of what he doing.
How would you say, hey, sorry, your hand up. Let's
Go ahead.
See why he's taking Alexis school?
not wait, man. I want to add to what you not really add to it, but ask a question on what you say. How would you tell, or how does your wife show that level of appreciation for you in forms of what? For you to be able to say, well, what I'm doing is.
But plenty at the time, I could tell is she not sweating the small stuff now, boy. So I do something. Now remember, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. As much as I be going on 8 years of marriage, I'm not perfect.
Clap that. Because people ain't making it to 2.
One,
so yeah,
I still learning certain things. Right? 2, life is hard, boy. So it might have something I know how to do perfectly. And she expect that when I do it, it's going to be done 100%. But guess what? Today, it was rough though. All that I had in me to get it done.
30%.
So I had to pick up my daughter. She had to get picked up for 2:30. I reached 2:45. Somebody else, so in that time I pick up the child.
Yeah. That child is in it so long.
I could come home and say, hey, I reached where she late. She get to play. That's the response.
So you know, you get the task done. She appreciate that you get the task done, regardless if it's late or not.
So, and on the back of that too, if it is I pick up 15 minutes late today, tomorrow,
You're making sure.
my wife might say, hey, let me go and pick you up today.
Serious.
Right? And it's not to say, well, it's not because you can't do it, you know. It's just that, yeah, what?
Consideration.
It's looking like if you're under some pressure this
wow.
week.
Yeah. Let me help you.
I hear if you need me.
Right.
So I still had the opportunity to say, nah, I go pick you up, I have it.
That's cool.
But if she say, well, hey, I go pick you up, say, well, alright, yeah, thanks. I
Right. Hey,
so
boy.
it's little things like that.
That's cool. Keep
shaking, yeah.
Before your hand fall off now.
Keep
Before your hand
shaking
fall off,
cages, yeah, boy.
What? You catch it? You see, part of what going on there is the ability to respect your partner. You see, respect is going a real long way because majority of the time, I can tell me if I'm wrong, that is one of the key factors. No, go ahead. Go ahead. That's one of the key factors we as men desire now, boy, just to be respected. You understand? I mean, that's what men is making it real difficult. Darling, don't ever worry about me. Don't have to worry about me. I'm a simple country man.
Right.
You understand? Cooks and cheese are be bad. But what I say is, you understand, the ability to respect your person and reciprocate that, no, that's going a real long way because people want to be heard, they want to be seen, they want to be understood.
What I want to add here is something that a lot of people don't understand and don't realize. And my wife didn't end up here just so.
Real.
It had plenty disrespect. It had plenty bad situations. It had real heartache, real heartbreak, real frustration. And learning.
But is it how?
I pity because if I put my heart, it's okay. Right? I forget what I was going to say.
but for me though, I gotta just say that, but for me, it could have them thing, you know, but is it how, boy?
What do you mean?
So, yeah, you know, it could have disagreements, it could have disrespect, but it's the how. Is the how, like
It's no good way to get disrespect.
No, I know what you mean.
I don't think you can disrespect me.
And watch this. It has disrespect. It has disrespect
That you could overcome.
that you could overcome.
Yeah,
So watch
I
this.
agree.
So watch this, right? That we say, thing whenever we fought, whatever. You see me, I know that. You know, cool.
Right there.
Well, even if you're going by the thing, you're on top of your river, whatever. Even if you do it publicly and I feel disrespected, we can go over that.
But you see
But
when you start to throw
not a
back,
good situation.
what? You see when you start to throw back things in my face out of disrespect?
Yeah.
Throw back things in my face.
I mean, it was
So that
I mean your whole.
Yeah,
Right. So
personally,
but you, that mean deep down in your core. That mean deep down in your core, you have a side that.
I mean, we could talk. I think we could talk about that still.
Yeah, so again, that for you,
Yeah,
that is a trigger where you don't like that personally. But it have people like the same way we talk about we grew up in 2-parent households and what we see is certain things. It has certain people that just how them deal with them situations. They haven't learned that yet.
Yeah.
So it had things I had to teach my wife when she wasn't my wife. That's part of it because you had to learn in enough time, brother.
Let's give it 2 minutes.
Yo.
Fast way.
Good you.
Yeah, no, your limit and my limit might be two different things now. The same thing for women. their limit
I had no
could be
limit.
different things.
Yeah,
True.
Nah, yeah, there's a limit when it comes to disrespect. There are certain things you ain't going to handle. When you reach a certain
just-
place, you're going to say, nah, that is it.
I was literally going to say the horn for me. They don't have coming back from that for me.
And
But
then
that's
you.
the least. I feel
That
like
you.
I don't know why we just make horn this.
There's romantic.
Yeah, boy, this
biggest.
the holy grail of disrespect
That is
in a
disrespectful.
relationship.
When it have so
Because-
many different things, we just accept in relationships.
That's
and then
so
when
much
there's
more,
one
bro.
it. But
No, I'm not saying,
so
no,
much
but I'm not
more,
saying
bro.
I'm not saying it doesn't have it. I'm just saying, for me, it have no comeback
right,
from
so
that.
that's your limit,
Correct.
right? So the same
Again,
way.
is the how.
Is
Well,
it-
how we
no, but
hold,
how, no, but how is that a big deal? I guess it. How is that
How
a big deal? How is that a big deal?
You don't have a special way you could hold me for me to understand.
If you know
Nah,
as a
Dappa.
man, I just been developing. If you know as a man, you thing it.
It's a real different house, though.
No, I did what advice you were.
It's a some real different house.
I asked this question to plenty of fellas already and I get a proper difference of opinion, right? If you feel there's any way in which that you could understand being cheated on,
Yeah, if I not
And-
fulfill my duty,
right, and in that moment, I just still come straight down to if the conversation was not had
prior.
some kind of way to show me that I wasn't fulfilling my duties and you just
Dappa.
went ahead and do it because I wasn't fulfilling my duties
Dappa.
without a conversation, I
Aye.
ghost.
Always watch this thing.
Black
Like
and
if
white.
people, again, fully conscious of everything they do in now.
That-
They are.
What do you mean?
They are.
Yeah,
they are.
but no, when
Nah,
we come back to the same
I
thing.
disagree, bro.
They are.
So we now talk
I
about
disagree
Tejan
that.
didn't have the same example, and we able to accept the fact
What
that
you
because
know,
he didn't have
I
an
don't know.
example,
You better be fully
right?
conscious.
So you are somebody who
What-
grew up,
what going
and
on?
the normalcy in their eyes for relationships is cheating. Them seeing mommy cheating on daddy,
Daddy cheating on
cheating
mommy.
on mommy. That's what them know.
Right? Why am
Right.
I in a relationship with a cheater?
You only know until you know.
That
Right,
is it.
no, but right. And when I know, I
Right.
must stay correct.
But
why we
hold on.
normalizing?
But
We
hold on,
already agree that that is your limit.
If this person outside that
That is
cheating,
your limit.
Just so you know, nobody here normalize cheating, right?
No, yeah, that
But
is
you
your
don't-
limit.
What he is saying is, if it is you end up with somebody who only actual example of fucking relationship is owning and cheating, right? That person now could be a good person. She could know what it is to be a good woman.
Cool.
But the example that she come is coming same thing with
Nice.
love, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you know when she would learn
he got this.
and unlearn the nonsense is when I leave.
Well, she
Like when
might
she would
not.
know.
No, but
And that's
she
true.
hasn't
She
learned
would.
anything there.
And
She
that's
would.
fair.
She would.
She has not learned anything
When she went to
there.
learn by you
Stay.
leaving.
She has not learned anything
Wait a minute, what she
there.
went to learn my leaving?
She hasn't learned anything
She's
She's
there.
just
she's
going on to
going
the
to
next. That's
Yo,
all that is.
stay
Literally
in
What
it.
we're
When she
talking
goes
about
to
there is therapy.
That's
You had to go to therapy.
And when she
Like
forgot
everything.
Dappa is not Bob the Builder for women.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all I just trying to show him is
Yeah, brother.
don't feel you leaving that person is teaching no lesson.
Yeah.
Stay, not teaching them neither.
And we never say it is actually, you know. We never say it is, you know.
Yeah, we get that clear now.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the thing.
That wild because in the first place, so what you trying to say, you comfortable with that and the whole honest thing and you're gonna allow it
Not
to
saying that, and that's what they're
Comfortable with
talking
that.
about.
Why say it?
Both of them missing what he's saying.
Right. It traumatizes me. I can't hear
No, we
about
live in reality.
that. Traumatized.
So it's not necessarily that somebody do it because you lacking in it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that somebody doing it to spite you either, you know.
Because of advice?
Somebody, you call it advice, but we just say that is just
You
what
said
it
that's
know
I
as
never call
normal.
it. I asked that question. Man.
Yeah, but that wouldn't know as normal. That is what they, that what
But
them
now,
brought seeing.
I mean, you're wrong.
You see here what you do? All you're
Mr.
judging.
How you do-
All you're
no,
judging people
you-
based off of
what you
your
doing
principles now.
Exactly.
And you can't
You
love.
see that way.
And like Teja say, you only know when you know.
Yeah.
So you can observe?
Observe what?
No, but what you
Cheating
mean
before it
is
happens.
only when it happened to you now, but as I said
Bro,
before,
I sure it will have signs though.
And plenty people don't be looking for these signs
Well,
because them
guys,
going to be
I
Tuesdays.
fully have-
Every week.
Them going to be Tuesdays.
to go into a relationship and not pay attention to signs is the maddest thing I ever in my life.
No what?
But what is signs?
What do you mean
Look,
what is
it
signs?
have so much normal social cues that when something happens, you're going to say, and that was vibes.
Like what so? Like what?
Like give me a sign. Give me
What? The simplest one. The simplest one.
Let me do fair.
Dog, go home.
Yo, we here.
We here.
Hey, what the hell is this?
I just do.
I don't must screen my shop though.
That's a
Brother, all your
I don't put on my
bullshit.
phone like
your cousin,
that.
I just do.
I don't must screen my shop.
Hey, dog.
What does that say?
I just do that.
Hey,
Not me
the
and
most
that I love the queen. I love my queen.
If and you know why I just do that? I will tell you why I just do that. Because if, let's say,
You
I
have to pay
out,
attention.
full
Full
attention, bro.
attention. Right. No
Full
problem.
attention, bro.
No problem. But is ways in which no.
Like what's so like what's the ways like?
No.
Just play now.
No. Yes, correct.
Oh, put it on airplane mode.
So it's the same thing as in it over.
No, it isn't.
So if I put my phone on airplane mode, that means
I don't
I'm
know
not
if you
cheating.
come true.
But if
I
I
don't-
put my
yeah,
phone
I don't know
on
if
I'm
you
not
do the
cheating.
thing.
I don't know you put your phone on airplane.
Someone.
I don't know you put your phone on airplane mode.
Boy, hey,
I didn't see you put your phone on airplane mode.
Don't try to
You are
upset me,
actively
listen,
trying. Dog. People do normal social cues to actively hide the nonsense.
Just now, so if it is
What?
if it is
Yeah,
my
in
phone,
plain
no,
sight.
he right.
plain
He's
sight.
right.
That's-
He's right.
no, that's what
He's
it is.
right. So that's
Boy,
statement.
I don't cry,
Or
boy.
they're trying to
that phone thing is one of them.
analyze, or they're trying to overanalyze this.
I do believe that phone thing is one of them. He's
And
right
to
with his
me,
statement.
no,
But that
bro,
phone thing can't be
if
one
you
of
had
them.
to get horn, you'll get horn.
But if you leave your phone in the car,
Fuck.
you
it have no
want it?
cues to read.
But give me a chance,
it
bro.
have
To be,
to.
because
I
you
don't
know
go to
what
the I don't go
agree
to
with
the
what
parties.
you say,
I leave my phone in the
I
car.
agree.
Hey,
I know, but I
I
agree with
want
what
it
you
because
say.
of that.
Now you're holding in that
No,
party.
low that boy, low
I
that
agree
boy.
with what you say in terms
Bro,
of
I see men though.
the most simplest thing you can never stop somebody from one.
But the biggest shit is leave the phone too. Upside face.
No,
face up.
that is seasonal owners.
I
Right?
serial one.
Yeah, the person you take that
Face.
like, resting down the
You
phone with the
understand?
face up for smile. Yeah,
Nah,
But
that
I-
bit
I
out
bet
there.
I want to my
You
phone.
know he.
I don't
We
want
in
no
Pizza
phone.
Hut and Pizza Hut calling your phone.
Yeah, why Peter? Well,
For me, it's like
No,
reverse
that,
psychology.
no, that is something
I'm
different.
crying.
Yeah, that.
For me, that phone thing is reverse psychology. Just because you know if I put it down, you're cheating, so I put it up. Just so you
Yeah,
know.
no, it don't make sense to
Don't
say.
make sense.
No,
is
that
a
was just an
social cue.
example.
Yeah, nah, but it's
But
confused,
that
but
plenty
we
other-
cannot deny the fact that a lot of people coming into relationships, and as worse as you think you are when it comes to social cues, you start
Wait, can still
to,
get one? Yeah.
you know you get caught up.
Yeah.
You know, you say
All
right?
that cues is butterflies.
Yeah, it come
I
like,
mean,
it come like
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like saying, when you reach home, you send a whole message. Dog, it's a nice I reach home, I drum, go to my mind.
Yeah, nah, that whole
I
message
see
is tough for
when-
me, dog.
No, as I crack the
I
door,
like-
I'm phone. I
yeah.
see him knocking at my door.
I can't do
Yeah,
that.
as I touch my
Play it
phone,
up, with your
I-
hoe.
I knock out.
Drunk as
I wake up in the morning
ever.
and say, yeah, you throw my thing over. At the end of the day, you will come and say, you sleep, you sleep home, thing over.
Yeah, nah, that why. But that
But
why.
if
For me,
No, it's
that's
wild,
yeah,
but
that's
at the end of the day,
madness.
I still try to do.
no,
If I don't
no,
do
but
it,
you would say try,
yeah,
no, you would
because
say try,
I-
no, that part. But I'm telling you, it have nights with each other.
No, but
Yeah.
Drunk
But go
and
back to what I
sober.
was saying in the beginning. Okay,
I will be coming
so-
back for you.
So,
I ready to get cassava.
but go back to what I was saying, like,
you send a new message.
who losing? The person. So they always watch it, right? I am not trying to read no thing and look for no red flag. For me, if I been cheated on, you lose.
Okay, yeah.
And you
Yeah.
lose. So for me, why am I
Yeah.
wasting time trying to look for red flags? And no, like that don't make no sense, bro.
I always used to say like,
Yo,
if I-
alright, so where you going at? Sorry to cut there, cause you do me that whole thing.
Revenge, yeah. Revenge sweet, yeah.
No, but nobody had tell us that.
No, I remember. But what's it? Alright, so if it was God forbid happen to you, what you was going to do? What you was going to do? I hear you
Again,
saying
as
that
I said
you
before, it's the
lose, but
how.
what you going to do? What you
It's
going
the
to do?
how. I mean, it's not what I'm going to do. It's what life going to do. You have to move on, bro.
no, but in which
So you-
in
so that
which
don't
house
make you-
are what you asking is
No,
in
go,
which
go,
house
go.
are you going to be okay with it?
No,
Maybe
you're
which
never
house?
okay with it. But
No,
you're
to the
never
point where
choose to stay.
to the point where you stay. Is there a how that you feel like
If
could happen?
if me and this woman build, like we really build, like talking about 15,
It's one of
20
them.
years,
Yeah.
weekends. What I mean, business.
Everything.
Everything,
Life,
bro.
family.
We had to make it work. Like, you had to at least try to make it work, bro.
I guess.
Between me and you, it's the same.
Oh, yeah, I know you see.
Bro, you tell me I spent 15, 20 years to build what we build. And I ain't talking about just really relationship. I'm talking about the
Everything,
business
everything,
and money
everything.
and mortgage
Entirely,
and
everything. Entirely.
for one man to come and no
Wait, put on
way.
your hand. So wait a minute.
Say it, say it, say it,
If
say it.
that what
Say it.
Prior that
Say it.
smoke.
You now
That's
spend
it.
your 15,
10
20 years, and she allow this one man to come and mash up that 15, 20 years. So use you one of them whole and build up and thing up.
No, they misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm
Bad.
saying you try. If it can't work, it can't
It
work.
can't work.
Wait, so you try after.
But you're not going to blank it out and say,
Yeah,
"Fuck
you
you."
try.
It's all over.
But you just saying where that happened, I ain't ready to go.
Yeah,
you gotta think about,
You gotta think about kids.
Right?
It has so much you gotta think about in that equation now, boy.
Why is keep saying in these scenarios? What would they thinking about? Why I am the one thinking about kids? Why I am the one thinking about what we build? Why I am the one doing this thinking?
So yep. In other words, you're being petty.
No, he's not.
petty. That is not even
What he
petty.
said?
I'm sorry, yeah,
You
petty
did
is
not
the wrong
consider.
word.
I find like I tell you for everybody think tonight.
Yeah, they really decipher this one. They really say, "Really right you."
Petty is not the word. Petty
In
is
that
not the word.
instance, Asha,
But you're trying to get back even.
no, that have nothing about
He's
even
not.
there.
What he's saying
I
is
am
right.
considering
In the
that
moment when that person was
you had zero
cheating,
consideration.
that
for me.
person didn't consider anything that you
Anything.
now trying to consider because of the
Correct.
work and
Zero.
struggle so
So
far.
because
why
no,
does it
and that what I'm
matter?
saying, you're trying to get even because
Why
they're
does it
not. Hold on.
matter?
Because they not considering,
Why
you
does it
no longer
matter?
considering.
Why
That's even.
what matter?
All of that, they understand, they.
And the amount of time and
we talking
whatnot.
about you.
Right.
And who you are.
Right.
Who are you?
Right.
Everybody like to talk
You
about
know if
nobody
we
can
do that,
control
is it
me.
there? No, they're not
Nobody
gonna
can
care,
control me.
Right,
Not
yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
making a whole decision they based on somebody else. You know.
Exactly.
Who are you, bro?
Exactly.
Who are you?
That's
Now,
my
you,
point.
if you is Dappa,
Go on.
right, and you go it,
Go on.
fine.
Fine,
Don't
right.
even know, boy, what you was thinking at. Forget all that, brother.
Yeah.
You
Because
Dappa
I
and you
think
go
because
it,
I
because you
can't
get
do it.
one, you're going because you
Yeah,
get
I
one.
can't do
You
it.
don't
That's
start to
fast.
give me no analysis about you didn't think about and you, brother, you're going.
I
Yeah,
think we just
yeah.
romanticize.
I'm
no,
good.
right?
I'm good. Right.
Madness.
I agree
Who
with
are
you
you?
100%.
Madness.
I agree with you
The-
100%.
Even the
Because if you can't, when you say
Even the who are you, the calculation comes
you
into
trying to
play.
calculate a reason
No.
why you should go in.
No, it's not
Just
calculated.
go.
No.
Who are you?
No. In any of those scenarios, the who are you comes straight into play in terms of, hey, I was doing this, I was doing that, I was doing this.
And why you leaving?
And I am leaving because it was not considered.
By them.
By them.
Yes.
So then
Right,
you,
no, you're not asking about
and that's
them.
what you saying.
Again, you. What
That's
who are
what
you?
you saying.
Who are you?
Hey.
Who are you? Don't talk about them again. So let me go through again. Your analysis, you're
You.
leaving. Don't
You.
talk about them at all. Who are
Don't
you?
bring up what they do.
It is
how they-
impossible. Hey. When all saying do not bring up them, that is impossible to do in a scenario where this is what is.
No, they already
going on.
won here. They already won here.
Kid don't get
Don't
on.
calculate why they won.
Yeah,
What
no,
they
No,
do.
if
What
they didn't
consider.
own you, you would not have been going anywhere. You would
Right,
have been
but
living
the
in
whole
your love.
now, and now we saying the whole now. So don't calculate what they was thinking when
You
they
could
won.
never not. You
Why?
could never not.
Why?
You could
Like,
never
the
not.
man-
You
the man
could
might be
never
staying.
not.
The man who might be staying. I'm telling you that. You could.
And the men who might be
If
staying, what is the
you
reason for
calculating, I mean,
staying?
in your mind, you
You
say,
are
"Oh,
calculating. No, you are in
No,
your
that
reason,
is
you are
the
reason
reason
for calculating your
Sam,
reason
think
for
about it,
staying.
right?
Your reason for saying not going
No,
to be
you
for
will
you,
answer
and
the
you're going to be
question
considering
itself.
she and
Why
what
are
she
you-
did
but
for
why?
you.
Why?
Or what all the men
No,
said.
that don't matter.
That's what you know
Right, that's
saying.
what
One
we say.
consider
With 15 years
one-
in pursue.
Right, but it had nothing to do
Every-
with her
That's what
specifically.
you feel
Make it about you.
Us.
Don't make it about what that person do, what that person didn't
Brother,
think about.
me and
Make
we
it
going
about
through
you.
all
Why?
that
What I
yeah,
did
no.
think of, and I would leave. That's what he's saying. Don't make it about the other person.
Make it
Like, all
about
these-
you and make it your decision.
That's little
Yeah.
more. You know, saying the same
No,
thing.
I
Yes, you
understand what
already
you're
done, so
saying.
yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
But it's a hard thing to do.
No, but
It's a really
the
hard thing
final
to do.
decision is going to be what you can't take. You as a person in this scenario can't deal with this no longer.
Right, and that's what he's
That's
saying.
only fact. No, but
Right.
the onset is, dog, in no onset when that happened to you, you go in and study. Me as me, not me. No,
No, we're not
how
saying-
she could do this to me. That is when you're going and study.
So, I must stop it there.
That's
I
what
must stop it there.
Go ahead.
I have the answer already.
Right, go ahead.
How she could do this to me? She is only human, dog.
Facts. You never do this.
She is only
You
human.
never wrong
That
somebody.
one, that one. You see you? How she could do this to me? That is not even a episode or a chapter I had to go through, dog.
Allow them humans, boy.
No, but watch this. You never wrong somebody in your life.
Right, cool.
And diamond thing. So, bro, I just look at
You know
life.
when
Where is
when
it?
I wrong them. Why I wrong them?
Let me hear why you're wrong. Then.
Didn't give a fuck. So consider that now in your perspective.
That's
Yeah,
easy.
But I
So because someone
but I
watch
don't
it,
think I love wrong people.
Yeah, but watch this, right? But watch this.
Bro, that's
Oh,
so
wait,
wild to me.
wait,
I know
wait,
I
just-
wrong nobody because they don't care.
How would you, why you gonna wrong
No,
them?
he's saying he don't care about them now.
Me as
Oh, you don't care about
Yeah,
But there
Why? That
must
is
have
why-
been a situation in life
Right.
where you make a mistake, dog. Or something did not occur to you that somebody else expects
I don't do
from
that.
you, dog.
I don't do
You-
that. I don't do that.
So you never make a mistake, but
I don't fucking up on man because you don't care about. I mean, I don't care about you
No.
neither.
You
I
Use
don't
that
care
error
about
guy
you.
too. Use that error guy too.
right?
She make an error.
He's saying he only wrong people when he didn't give a damn about them.
And that's not true. I don't believe
And that could never be the case.
No. Fair. No, that's fair.
You don't-
That's
you
fair.
don't- you don't want
because,
to.
Because most, it happen, yes, it would have instances where you doing what's best for you, right? And in a marriage type situation, it's not what is best for you.
It's for us.
It's best for us. What nonsense will I tell them about it?
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
But that's practical.
It is.
That
It
makes
is
sense. That
Dappa.
makes sense.
And again,
So what she decision making was on,
Again.
it wasn't on us.
And every
it was
single
on she.
day.
You know what I don't like? I find another like really married man and I'm really married. So I find
I only side.
You understand? I find
look,
shit.
hear what I say.
I could never side with that.
I could
man.
understand if that
No,
is
but
your
it's not
stance.
about
innit?
siding,
You,
no.
that is your limit. innit? And
That is
I
your
telling you,
limit, yeah,
if
everybody
you
limit
say that
different.
your
Everybody
limit,
limit different.
fine. But I will also tell you, if that is your limit,
No.
marriage is not for you.
Mike.
Marriage is not for you.
Don't agree.
Right?
Don't
Because
agree.
Nah, that's a
Hear why,
I
hear
didn't
why,
care.
hear why. Marriage is a commitment to be together. Not when everything good. Not if you do.
Despite
If you're wrong, man, we done.
Right.
That is not marriage. That is not what marriage is. On now,
Well, he's
By
not saying.
Dappa and Coach.
In defense of
hey,
Dappa, right? Though, in
hey.
defense of Dappa, he's not saying when you're wrong, man. He's saying when you're
Hey.
wrong, man.
Right.
That's
Hey.
specific.
so marriage,
Yeah,
marriage
that's
as
very
well.
specific.
Why?
Marriage does not state. Yo, if somebody get horn here, this marriage annul or divorce.
But that your and I was saying
But
your
he just
concept.
opening the door
No,
for
what I'm saying is-
nonsense.
what
boy.
I'm saying
He
is-
just opening
what
the
I'm
door
saying
for
is-
people to be
that is
comfortable with
not
telling
good.
themselves because we married after
doesn't-
phone and
it
they cannot
doesn't.
go nowhere. That is nonsense, boy.
brother.
Yeah, you mash up the skins, boy. I'm just
Nah,
like.
don't mash up
No,
the skin.
brother.
Must have been skin,
You see,
boy.
you're watching it in that box. I just horn. You're watching that box. I just horn. Your horn is our next man. Boy, who she could talk to me so, boy. They're going through that.
True to me.
Forget this marriage thing.
Jeez, that is
Yes.
the craziest thing I
Yes.
But that's
bro, I
real. That's
agree,
real.
bro.
I know people who get divorced because they didn't get a hot plate of food.
That's real.
Right.
Real talk. Real.
Right.
That man,
Trying
hear what
to
that man
compare-
watching. No,
Trying to
what,
compare hot plate of food.
No, he
But
not
it's
doing that.
divorce.
To somebody being
What he
intimate.
trying to do
no,
is
what I'm
somebody
saying is,
else.
what
show
I'm
how
saying
simple
is,
it is, the
the
principle.
divorce
What you could
was
take on one
based on that because you know
that's
why?
all.
That man saying that next man getting a hot plate of food and he fine, dog, you don't care about me. What you was thinking?
Yeah, that
whole
you
day
didn't-
when I was working
yeah,
hard.
Yeah.
You didn't care about me. So what I'm saying is, I'm not equating the two, you know.
You know, and you're not trying to make it seem as though one is
What I'm
right or not
saying
right.
is,
That's-
and I'm not saying go into your marriage knowing that well I could
He never
have
said that.
and nobody
He
will
never said
not
that right,
divorce
you
me,
know.
you know.
He never said
What
that
I'm
right.
saying is, if a situation occurs, your commitment is to try and make it work.
For better.
Or for worse.
That your commitment. I'm not saying
And that
it's
is
easy
the
either, you know.
worst.
I'm not saying
That
it's
is the
easy
worst.
either, you know.
That's one of the worst. For
But
better or for worse.
I know people who make it through that one scenario.
And come
I
out.
know
I
people who
feel
didn't
like,
make it
I
through
personally
either.
feel like if I get through that, if we get past that,
I request
we go on, boy. The can't stop, we boy.
Wait. You go on, if you get horn, you go.
No, I'm saying if you're able to work past,
I know we ask, yeah.
If you get horn, will you
Right.
will pass it?
I would try to.
Because
Love, brother.
I would try to.
don't
brother.
watch.
Come
But
on.
if you love the person, if you love the person,
Love, brother.
Right?
Come on.
I try.
come on.
I am
you're
trying.
trying.
My wife.
It have no way to get
Mama never
that my
raised a
son
daughter.
that will
I
change.
say anything big with the camera that had to be watching here, right? My wife, I'm not telling you go there and horn me.
Yeah,
I'm
go on.
letting you know.
Do it.
We don't even have to be just be talking about horn, baby. I try not here.
Yeah.
I try. We don't make a decision. I try not here, buddy. I try.
My camera, let me see
here.
my camera.
I tried.
Baby, I try not to unless you're home. Next
here.
man.
Come here. That's how you.
No, you. All I statements are fucking
Come
make,
here,
you
come
know.
here, come.
It's all
Come
I
here,
statements
come
are make, you
here.
know. I don't make my statement years ago, so.
Yeah.
I am cool.
You better than that, eh? You don't even function.
Look at the closing statements on
You
one
know how
time.
you function. Love alone.
Thank you.
You see, That nonsense.
Because man, bro, you see what you said it? I feel like that's how I
finishing
feel
off,
it. Like, man, I come home, imagine I working hard all day, bro. I come home, right? Let's use a scenario. I come home, you do nothing for the day. Not have food, nothing. That for me, could equal I want to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you watch the principle
Cause
of
on
things now.
fucking
bro.
ship.
Yeah.
Where you know all this?
Imagine what this, right?
If the
Watch
shop
this,
a
right?
woman,
Man
you
start
do,
off
man,
there.
I play top
But watch
man.
this, right? Watch this, right?
Start off there. You say we like to make one this big thing and you
Better,
talking
better.
about that. Oh, that thing
Little
that's
things.
wrong.
No, but talk about that thing, talk about that
Watch
thing,
this,
talk about
right?
that
Watch
thing.
this, right? Watch this, right? Let me say you live with a girl, right?
Right.
I love you. With the significant other, right? And she don't pay her bill, bro. She don't pay her bill.
Everything covered.
Everything covered, right?
Right.
But you mightn't take she out Ruby Tuesday every
Yeah,
Tuesday. Right? You
yeah.
might take she out and thing regularly. Boom, now a man on she walk, decide to take she out. You understand? Like for me, them little
It's
things,
a gateway.
bro.
Yeah.
You know watching how I rent,
Grinding, yeah.
food,
Yeah.
your bills, your clothes.
Yeah.
You watching them things. You understand? As little
That plays
things.
a different level of respect.
And that for me, that worse than I want. That, you understand?
Because it's a sweat and tears putting into this.
Oh, yeah.
And again, but how I say, you put in all that work, you at least try.
Maybe I just really
Yeah,
well.
try, but yeah, try.
Oh, yeah. This session was nice.
No, wait.
Could tell very, very passionate about this, eh?
Only laughing.
What about that? You realize how real it is,
I'm serious.
Real.
I know it's harder than I get that. Yeah. We better than that.
Hey,
No, boy.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
your thing?
More life, more love.
More everything.
More skins. More
Love
skins.
one, boy. Love one.
Yeah, boy. Love.
No, this ain't sorted caramel seduction. That's
Hey,
crazy.
great.
That's
Me to do
crazy.
it again when the fellas back
That's
in
crazy.
Trinidad.
Yes,
I always
Nice
say.
session, yeah.
I always say.
No frequent flyer now. Frequent
Go on,
flyer.
I'm true. Hey, boss, what's it? I'm saying about 6 months ago. He said, boy, right now.
But now,